everyone, this is Ep24, and welcome to episode 24 of Ep20's Let's Play of OceanBlock2. I'm today harvesting stuffs, mostly because I want this stuffs, and also because these guys have, whittled their way down to a simple Certus quartz block. We've got a couple, still that can grow and do their thing, so I'll just leave them there until such time that they can no longer do said growing. I think today's plan should be a little applied energistics-y. I'd like to upgrade from the integrated dynamics storage system to applied energistics, so we can get like a little bit better auto crafting going on. Auto crafting is a little bit wonky. I haven't quite figured out. A couple people said like check things for like crafting channels. I've done that. So I don't know quite what's up. It's a little bit wonky, but it's like really good. It's like really great as an early game AE system, which is something I've always kind of wanted to see in Minecraft. Like there's a big gap between chests and then like full-blown applied energistics. Having like a middle tier storage system that's like not quite as good as applied energistics, but definitely a million times better than just storing items in chests is pretty awesome. So I'm actually really glad that the FTB team chose to kind of focus on having integrated dynamics as part of, the early to mid game storage system, because like I learned something, and that is that integrated dynamics does a really nice job before you get access to AE, and I'd like to see more packs do that. Have that like middle tier crafting, because I'm always like a fan of progressing in a pack. Like you start with nothing, and then you get better and cooler stuff and upgrading. So anytime there's like a progression, for me, that's fun. I don't know if that's true for everybody. I'm sure some people like to have applied energistics or refined storage up and running on day 2. That's also cool. Everybody plays differently. That's the beauty of a sandbox game. Ooh, look at all the good loot. Lots of netherite going on here. Ooh, another solar panel. Nice. And hey, speaking of applied energistics, look what I just got. Hey! Hey! That's pretty exciting. Alright, everybody go away. One thing I'm going to do before we get into applied energistics is I'm going to change my channel to be 0. And make sure that, like, there's nothing too crazy that, so like netherite, or netherrack is definitely a thing, right? Or is that crushed netherrack? No, that's proper netherrack. We also have crushed netherrack for some reason. I'm just going to set that up. Why not? So netherrack, are you a drawer? You are now. Yeah, you were actually. So that's cool. So just making sure that on channel 0, there's nothing too crazy. Maybe like that Certus quartz crystal should probably be in a drawer somewhere. That seems smart. And like you're not already... No, we have dusts in a drawer, but we don't have crystals. So I'm going to throw that in here so that it does the block form too. That seems like a smart play. Anything else that I should move out of here before, maybe glass. Glass might be cool to have in a drawer somewhere. Look who's flying above. My favorite mobs in all of Minecraft. It's actually funny, like when you're playing a skyblock, or in this case an ocean block, how rarely you wind up sleeping and how frequently those dudes show up. Alright, so applied energistics today? Yeah, sounds pretty cool to me. So I'm going to clear out all of my to-do list here, because I think I've accomplished most of it. Check that out. They added a tooltip to the blazing mesh that says it only works in the netherite sluice. Thank you, FTB team. Thank you, FTB team. I may or may not have had something to do with that. I may have had a small role in that tooltip existing. I'm leaving my salmon roll up there because it's my to-do to, like, at some point find rice. I don't think we found it yet, have we? Oh, we did actually find rice seeds. Oh, good. All right, so we can get that cooking. See that weird inventory desync? Oh, that's right, I did plant them, didn't I? That was a long time ago. It feels like. All right, we'll get that all sorted out after applied energistics. So, is there anything different in AE. Like, we found the floating meteors, so now it's time for like the charger and the charged Certus quartz and like, you know, making the inscribers, um, and then making fluix crystals and like all the normal, I assume, stuff happens here. So yeah, let's do that. So we're gonna need a charger. You're going to need some form of power. I might tap into this power line over here for a minute, only because you're like a pretty decent amount of juice. I should be able to do that and then get some cabling. And then like as soon as we get applied energistics going, we're gonna have to figure out like a better power system than that. Like I could keep doing that, probably. But at the very least, I'd have to automate my water, right? Perfect. So then we can do this. And you should be cool. Yep. Sweet. Now, out of curiosity, it's 2 and 4 and 2 and 4. So in fairness, if I wanted to, I could totally replicate that stuff, right? It's very replicatable. I noticed there's like a lot of stuff that has like replica attributes on it, right? So in much the same, I'm assuming what happens is it works kind of like Project E / a cool and exchange mod, where like if all the components of it have matter attributes, it like adds them up, and then you can like kind of dupe whatever. Provided I assume it's like, you know, craftable. I'm sure there's some things you can't dupe, right? Like so like these things. Because like I'm guessing there's something in here, like this is dupable, and the wooden rods are dupable, but the aluminum wire is not, so therefore this is not. Does that make sense? I think that's how it works. I don't know for sure. So I'm gonna get like 8-ish of these, and then hopefully that's sufficient to get me started. And that's cool. So quest 1 done. And then we're gonna want inscribers. I usually make about 5 of these. Are pistons auto-crafting now? Sort of. Sort of, but also not. Queuing. I don't know. I don't know. And there's your 5 inscribers that I normally like to have. And then here's your calculation, your engineering, your logic, and your silicon press. We already have a 4K ME thing, so that's cool. We're going to want a controller from AE2. And for that, we're going to need skystone blocks, which need skystone that's smelted. So let me just get like, I think 16 of those should suffice. You don't need a lot of them, really. That should be more than enough. And then we need fluix crystals, which I assume is like your standard fluix crystal-y recipe bit, right? Yeah, reaction chamber or in-world transformation with redstone and quartz. Quartz and redstone in water, no less. Right, so we'll take those, and they should do their thing. And that's cool. All right, so AE controller needs my engineering processor. So let's get the these guys up and running. Now, do you share natively, or do I need to? So let's see. Engineering, that's the diamond one, right? Yes, so that's usually second for me. Logic is gold, calculation here, and then silicon there, and then that's the stamper that does redstone in the middle. So let's start cooking up some of this. Now, do those inscribers like have an upgraded form? They have the extended inscriber. So we have extended AE in the pack. Cool. Now, is the deep storage disks in here? They are sweet. So the non-typed storage disks do exist. So I should have no problem making a 4K because we already have that. I might make a few more of those. So that's cool. Let's get some silicon, which we have a little bit of, and I have to remember how we make that. Just smelting the dust or casting quartz. That works too. So what I should be able to do is get some of like my many quartz here and run them through here. Now, do we have a better capacitor that I can install on this thing to make my life a little bit easier? Yes, but I'm going to have to like make coal dust and energetic alloys. That shouldn't be too bad. Gold, redstone, and glowstone. And then coal. And then if I want the top tier capacitor, right? I need glowstone and vibrant, and that's just going to be an ender pearl, right? Nice. All right, so you guys do your thing. You pause for a sec just because you're so slow, and then maybe a little bit of that action. Because you know Dyer, he can't resist. I can't resist. Actually, we had some coal dust already, so that's cool. Right, and then we'll take... That'll be fine. Perfect. And then we can take our capacitors. We're going to want 2 more of these. So one, Grains of Infinity need, it's burning on the deep slate, right? Do we still have some deep slate? We do. And I've still got a flint. Cool. And then make sure your Magathon. Come on. Do the thing. I only need like 2 of them. Good enough. So then those capacitors can be upgraded. 1. I thought we had more capacitors. We do. Do thing. Alright, be weird, why don't you? And then you. Cool. And that'll let this guy behave himself better. We're definitely going to need to tech up a little bit, right? Alright, so let me do this. What I'm going to do is take this quartz dust, melt it up into silicon, and then we know the first round of inscribing is usually a little bit slow, so I'm going to just go like stick a bunch of gold and... How did you... What? I don't know what just happened, but it's all good. Diamonds. Should I do a whole... I'm going to do half a stack of diamonds, a full stack of gold, and then Certus. I'll just do half a stack. Is that cool? Yeah. And then we'll come back in a minute once everything's, you know, super cool. All right. Oh, and I guess you guys do need power. Do I need more than anything I have? No, that's cool. I was hoping you'd share with your neighbors. All right. Back in a minute. All right, I think I've got this all hooked up and good to go. What I'm thinking is, where do I want this to live? Do I want this to just live here where it's like already been living? Probably. That could work, right? Like I could just literally place this disk drive right here with this disk. And, you know, call it a day. Now I did get another solar panel just a minute ago, right? Vibrant photovoltaic 64. Nice. I'm going to borrow you for a second, Mr. Smithing Table. We're just going to set up like a very basic one, and then we're going to expand from there. Between the cuts here, I, you know, made a ton of resources, including cables and like the terminals and all the stuff. So like we're ready to go, right? I've got my 16K ME disk in there. What I'm thinking is I could just get another wrench of some kind. There we go. And pop down my energy cell. And can I just like that? Yes, probably if it wasn't thunderstorming. I assume. Okay. Do you do thing? Energy cell? We might need the energy acceptor. Or you know what, I can put it on the controller. Yeah, I did make a controller. Didn't I make a controller? I swore I made a controller. Did I not make a controller? I must not have. Okay. Yep, I didn't do the controller because I didn't get the quest reward for it. There we go. So now you should be cool and powering up, right? Presumably? Yes, you're filling up, and then you're going to fill up. Nice. So a little bit of an extra buffer there of power, and then we should be cool. And then I should be able to do this and throw down my terminal. No, not there. Who would want a terminal that way? Nobody, I tell you. Nobody. And then I can make you like the nice full height terminal. Sort by number of items, descending, and that's pretty cool. Okay. Very, very cool. And then it should just be a matter of like tossing junk in here, right? Like whatever junk I want. Nice. Okay. I'm down with that. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is backpack you, backpack you, backpack you, get you down there with that stuff. I also even did a little bit of laser IO just to make this thing a little bit easier. I was tired of standing here and manually doing it. You've seen me set this up a million times, right? You didn't need to see me do this on camera. You're cool with me just doing that, right? I figured you guys would be 100% fine with it. Is it raining again? Like, I just slept through a thunderstorm. How is it raining again? I really need to add some kind of weather control thing to just dire things. It's been on my, like, I'd like to do this list for a while, and I just haven't gotten around to it. So then what I'm going to do is disconnect this, which means that we should no longer be seeing anything from the drawers, right? So channel 0 is all the internal stuff. Channel 1 is all the crafter stuff. Cool. Right? So now it should be very easy for me to just be like, boom, 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 all this stuff, right? And we already know that we don't have like a ton of this junk, so it should have no problem just going in here. So now this will empty out every component of our chests, which should be pretty cool and easy to transition over. And like, I probably could have done some kind of import, export, bus nonsense, but we don't have that much stuff. So I'll come back when this is all done. All right, transfer complete, which means I'm now good to like... All right, that's probably not going to work. Okay, that's definitely not going to work. Do I want these dudes? Yes. Cool. Position was saved. I don't want to position save nothing. I want to break stuff. Save offset inside default. Oh, I see. Well, that's not a good mechanic. We don't need these guys no more. And we shouldn't need any of these. Nice. Okay. I wonder if another wrench can do its wrenchly duties. Nope, not that one. How many wrenches we got in this pack? A lot. Nope, not that one. Alright, I'm just breaking things now. Alright, so now my plan is 1, 2 sets of pistons, me storage bus. And I recognize that I could have one drawer system here. I kind of like having separate drawer systems, one for like my actual components and like one for like all the junk. I like these being 2 different drawer systems. A lot of people are like, Dyer, that could have been 1 drawer system. I'm like, yeah, I know. I know. But I liked it this way. I do at some point need to rationalize the fact that I've got just so much junk. Anyway, then I can do my cabling, which I don't know how we are for wool, but at some point I'm gonna have to get better at wool. But for now, I can just use basic cables, and I should be able to just run this underneath the world. All right, laser, where you at? Time to earn your keep. All right, you should not be lasered. You should be wrenchy. There we go. I'm gonna put you on precision mode, just so I don't accidentally break stuff. Okay, so where we're gonna be is here, is where you want me to come out, right? Cool. Alright, great. And then bing bang, and now we have our whole system of stuffs. Hooray! Look at that. Awesome, right? That is pretty cool. Okay, and then I can get a few more of these guys, and that should be good. And how are you doing? Very slow. Gonna need to accelerate that soon. But we have a basic AE system going. And I might want to make another 16K. So let me get, like, I think I've got the stuff for this, but we're going to find out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And then we can 4K those. Oh, we need more. We need more of this. Right? And then you. And then you. Sweet. Okay. So that'll be a couple nice storage disks. That should last me a bit, right? That should last me a good bit. So we've got the very basics of an AE system up and running, which I am pleased about. And I can put all this stuff away, because I really don't need any of that no more. And you guys can be backpacked. Cool. So I think I have an idea. I'm going to move some sheep over to here-ish. Not a cow. I want a sheep. Excellent. So we're going to want to set up a system today of wool collecting. And I don't think foregoing is in the pack, is it? Yeah, there is no industrial foregoing. So we're going to have to do this another way. Another method of sheep shearing. And I think we'll use just dire things. A big surprise to everyone. I know, I use my own mod too much. But it's the best tool for the job, I think. So what I'm going to want is a clicker, right? An advanced clicker is going to need a simple clicker, is going to need one of you dudes, right? And then 4 of these. And then you, and then upgraded. And then we're cool. Ender, how hard is like a nice simple solar panel? Am I gonna regret looking up the recipe for this? Because I've been kind of enjoying the whole having solar panels thing. So you can make photovoltaic plates. Vibrant photovoltaic module. Do they not have recipes? Is that the deal? You can only find them... Yeah, they don't have a recipe. So I guess you can only find them in those... Hey. Ooh, sheep seeds. Speaking of wool. I don't want to do it that way. Okay, so this junk can all go away. I don't want to do it with sheep seeds. So we're going to need power. So is there any kind of solar panel? Big solar panel from Oratech might be a thing. What are my power generation capabilities? Like, we could do the simple fuel generator from Just Dire Things. That much I know. You know what you can do? Pretty sure I set it up this way. You should be able to put a pocket generator in. I thought I had a slot for that. I thought I had a way to power my machines using the pocket generator. Where's my old fuel generator? Is it still over here somewhere? I had that fuel generator, remember? What did I do with it? Didn't I have a fuel generator at some point that I had plugged in somewhere? Where did I put that? I don't remember. There it is. Simple fuel generator. That's what I did with it. Did I do... So you're doing that, you did that. Did I do this? Nope. Could have sworn I had a spot for my pocket generator to go so that it could charge things. Am I crazy? Swore I had something for that. Anyway, that'll work for now. And then we can get... We're going to want to... Oh, we're out of power? How are we out of power? I guess the storminess? We're out of power because of storminess? That's a bummer. Remember like 5 minutes ago when I was like, you know what my next important task is getting power? That is still the truth. Alright, so we're going to want an item collector. That would be you. And then we're going to want a storage drawer. That would be you. Then we're going to want shears. Ooh. That would be you for now. Probably going to want some kind of like better shears system. And then that should be all she wrote. So your area will be back one more. And then like that. And then you're going to get shears. And you're going to right-click on passive mobs. Cool. Okay. Perfect. And then you're going to go here with this in it, and we're going to lock you, because we know that's what we want to use it for forever. And you're going to be the same kind of deal. You're going to go down one, you're going to go back a bunch, right? And then you can go align to that. And I'm going to make it 4-sized so that it's, you should be actually this way then, right? Yeah, that looks better. So your rendering is off. You can pick up every 10 ticks, just be a little bit quicker about it. And then now your rendering is off. And that's all she wrote. Is that cool? With my magnet off, that should be pretty easy. All right. And then we'll just, you know, obviously we're going to run out of shears at some point, and we're also going to run out of power at some point. You should be running out of power. How are you not running out of power? Is that another bug I just found in my own mod? Or is it using so little that it's just... No, it should absolutely not be at full. Might have just found a bug in my mod. That's actually really funny. Well, who am I to complain? Yeah, no, that's pretty wild, actually. That's super weird. I'm gonna have to go look at that, because that should very much be draining energy. How are you not draining energy? That's 100% a bug that I'm very surprised about, because, like, I feel like I've used that clicker many a times, and, like, we've always drained energy, right? That's weird. Anyway, sheep farm, lots of wool coming in, because you know we're going to need that for this dude, right? So now we can get our cables. Do we not? Oh, we have some, but not a lot. So we're going to want more of you. Right? And then more of you. And that should be cool. And then you can be thatted. Right? Cool. And then you can be turned into that. And now we have our cables. 4 out of 16 channels in use. 1 for you, and 2 for you. Because it's all the same thing off the controller. So what we'll probably do next episode, so first off, we definitely need to get better on power gen. So like I really need to figure out what my power gen options are in this pack. Like clearly, you know, we've got a few, but like let's review that real quick before we wrap up the episode today. Because like, yeah, I'm gonna need to figure out what our power gen options are. Right? We could do with Eclipse Ember and do that whole, you know, fuel chain. That's an option. And that generator should work. So that should be cool. I think I saw that there was flux points in the pack, right? So we can use flux to do that. And then we have lots of battery options, whether you go Ender IO or Mechanism. We have that. But I don't think there's a lot of generator options for Mechanism. So what are my options? Power generation. Here we go. There's a whole chapter for it. So moving from steam power. Once you set up some basic steam power, this can only carry you so far. This chapter shows many of the other methods of generating power within OceanBlock2. Most quests in this chapter are locked behind their respective dependency quests from the main quest line. So there's crude oil via the fuel generator from Oratech. Or we could go the diesel generator from Immersive, right? That's the Immersive Engineering one. Kinetic generator from Immersive. Thermoelectric generator from Immersive, or big solar and Oratech reactors. Nuclear reactor control panel? Was there nuclear reactors last time we played Oratech? I'm trying to remember. I don't remember. I don't think so. Because there was the generator and there was like the Ender Pearl thingy and like... And then there's extreme reactors and then the fuel generator. So those are your options, right? For power gen. So that's it? Is that all of them? It's simple fuel generator from Just Dire Things. It's big reactors or extreme reactors or whatever it is now. And then Oratech or Industrial Foregoing. Those are your 4 main power gen mods. So, okay, I'm cool with all that. Let me think about it between episodes. When we come back next time, we'll figure out what we want to do. But for now, it's wrapping up point. So Devil20 sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. AE2 up and running. Quickie wool farm. Might want to bump up the Y level on this guy to pick up the wool that lands on the fences. For now, take it easy.